There is magic in PC gaming. Let's celebrate that magic together. This is the PC Gaming Show.
With E3 2018 well underway, we go back and take a look at the highlights of the major conferences. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the PC Gaming Show. The PC Gaming Show had a plethora of games to show off this year. With 30 titles, it was 90 minutes of almost back-to-back games. Now, 30 games would be a lot to cover, so we're just going to go over the highlights that stood out for me. First of all was Sinking City, an open-world action investigation game set in the third person. The gameplay that they showed off looked intriguing. They also said that there would be no hand-holding in the game, but what made it stand out for me personally was the Lovecraftian theme behind the game. With sanity mechanics that could affect gameplay, this is definitely one I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I may be a bit biased here because I do have a soft spot for anything that has a Lovecraftian theme, but nonetheless it was one of the highlights of the show. Next was WARFRAME, the Sacrifice trailer. This was a cinematic story trailer that's going to add more story elements to the game, and to top it off, it's actually going to be released this week, so WARFRAME players are in for a treat. Next was SABLE, a highly stylized open world exploration game. Players play as a girl character named Sable in the desert that seems to have remnants of sci-fi elements. As you explore, the developers said there's no emphasis on combat or whatsoever, it's just about you and exploring the environment. This one stood out because it was highly stylized visuals, and it almost brought Journey vibes with it. How this pans out we'll have to wait and see, but nonetheless it was interesting. Next is Star Citizen, the game that's been in development for donkey's years. Nonetheless, they showed off a trailer that consisted of in-game footage, and it's a really good looking game. However, still no release date, so at the moment this one is just a dream. Next was Genesis Alpha 1, a strange little space management game combined with first-person exploration and shooting. Basically you manage a space station as you explore the universe, collecting alien DNA and splicing it with your crew. I was surprised to see management type gameplay like you would find in management games, combined with the first person shooting elements. During the show they showed off a trailer, and it came with a release date of the 4th of September 2018. Next was Rapture Rejects, the only battle royale game that actually caught my attention. This is because it strayed from the standard battle royale formula of third person gameplay to an isometric top down game with comic elements. The trailer they showed was very amusing, and despite it only being in the alpha stage, it's one to keep your eye on. Next was Overkill's The Walking Dead, the co-op shooter set in the Walking Dead world. Whilst it didn't look as fast-paced as games like Left 4 Dead, it nonetheless has potential. Set in Washington, they showed off a gameplay trailer that eventually gave us a release date of the 6th of November or the 8th of November depending on where you lived in the world. This was also then followed by Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season. Anyone who's played any of the previous Telltale Walking Dead games will know what to expect here. Nonetheless, for me it was a highlight, and hopefully it's going to be a fitting end for Clementine's story. The game will be released on August 14th, 2018, so not too far away at all. Next was 2 Point Hospital, basically a successor to Theme Hospital. Gamers of the older variety like myself may remember Theme Hospital quite fondly, as do I, and seeing a successor I couldn't help but smile. It still keeps the comic elements that was in the original Theme Hospital, but obviously has updated graphics and gameplay mechanics. They are hoping to release later this year, so this is one I'm definitely going to be getting. Next was Jurassic World Evolution. Obviously the game is out tomorrow on June 12th, but nonetheless they showed a fantastic Jeff Goldblum launch trailer that just built up the hype for the game. Remember though that the game is only available tomorrow if you're getting it digitally. If you want a physical copy you're going to have to wait till next month. Next was Hitman 2. They showed off a trailer for the sequel to the rebooted Hitman, which is just more of the same assassination goodness. Taking down your targets however you want allows players to be quite creative and surprisingly quite comic at the same time. Challenges like elusive targets in that will be returning, and with a release date of November the 13th, 2018, I cannot wait to see how creative people get when taking down their assassination targets. The next highlight for me was Don't Starve Hamlet. Now I may be a bit biased here because I am a huge Don't Starve fan, and I've been waiting for news of this for a while. They showed off a fantastic trailer that shows us the new environments that we'll be trying to survive in, and they also gave us a release date of December 18th. I'm assuming it's going to come to PC first before consoles, but I cannot wait to learn more about what is going to be included in Don't Starve Hamlet. And then finally my last highlight, and one that really stood out for me, was Maneater. Now they showed off a trailer for this and it left me a bit speechless. It is an open world action RPG game where you play as a shark. You roam the environments, taking on, well, your dinner, leveling up your shark as you go. It just sounds like a delightfully dark game. Also, it's from the makers of Depth, so they've had experience with shark games before, so I cannot wait to get my hands on this one. Unfortunately, there was no release date for this one, so we're just going to have to keep our eye on it. But anyway, those were the highlights for the PC gaming show for me. Of course, there were a lot more games shown off, 30 in fact, and while some of them were highlights, they were already shown off in other conferences. Nonetheless, I would be interested to hear what your highlights for the PC gaming show were and what were your favourites. So, leave a comment down below, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you the highlights of the PC gaming show for E3 2018. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.
So do you like upgrade and improve the shark? Is there like skill trees?
You do. There is a shark skill tree.